Welcome back. All right, so we're going to talk about the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team that still haven't got out of the first round. The last time I did this was 3 years ago. We were talking about what is basically the same talking point now. And so the question becomes one of, okay, so this coming year, Austin Matthews might get his way into the top 10 scorers. And in subsequent years, we could see he and Marner both get into the top 10 scorers. We might see eventually Tavares. You could see Nylander and have quite the top 10 scoring for Toronto with some modern flavor to it. But if they don't win in the playoffs, there's going to be a whole other discussion, right? So their all-time leading scorer is Matt Sundin in 981 games, 420 goals, 567 assists, 987 points. Unlike other original six teams, they do not have a 1,000-point scorer in their history. It should have been Daryl Sittler. Should have been 844 games played, 389 goals, 527 assists, 916 points. Had kind of an ugly break with the team. And so Sittler should have had 1,000 points as a Leaf. He should have retired as a Leaf. Then there's Dave Keon, who had an ugly divorce with the Leafs as well. In his time, 1,062 games, 365 goals, 493 assists, 858 points. And then he would go off playing the WHA. If not for the WHA, he absolutely should have been a 1,000-point producer with the Leafs. Borje Salming, 1,099 games played, 148 goals, 620 assists, 768 points. Salming, absolutely fantastic defenseman. George Armstrong, 1,188 games played, 296 goals, 417 assists, 713 points. Well regarded and respected former member of the Toronto Maple Leafs right there. Ron Ellis, 1,034 games, 332 goals, 308 assists, 640 points. Frank Mahovlich, 720 games played, 296 goals, 301 assists, 597 points. Bob Pulford, 947 games, 251 goals, 312 assists, 563 points. Ted Kennedy, 698 games, 230 goals, 330 assists, 560 points. And about to be knocked out of the top 10 is Rick Vive, who in 534 games with the Leafs scored 299 goals, 238 assists, 537 points. So for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it really is a matter of, this coming year, as I said, Matthews, barring injury, ends up in the top 10 in scoring with them all time. Their wins leaders, Turk Broda, 304. He's safe. Nobody's getting to 304 anytime soon. Johnny Bauer, 219. Felix Potvin, 160. Freddie Anderson, 149. Curtis Joseph, 138. So Freddie Anderson did get into the top 5 before he moved on to Carolina. Their retired numbers list is pretty extensive. In fact, I don't think it's completely on the camera. Let me just move that back. There we go, just a little bit. Turk Broda and Johnny Bauer, number 1. Hap Day and Red Kelly are number 4. Bill Barilko's number 5. Ace Bailey's number 6. King Clancy and Tim Horton both wore number 7. Both retired in their names. Number 9 was retired for Ted Kennedy and Charlie Conacher. Number 10 was required for Sil Apps and George Armstrong. Number 13 for Matt Sundin. Number 14 for Davey Keon. Number 17 for Wendell Clark. Number 21 for Borje Salming, even. Number 27 for Frank Mahovlich and Daryl Sittler. Number 93 for Dougie Gilmour. So see, they retired Sittler's number eventually. Everything was fine. They made up. It's just a shame he had to be traded off rather than finishing his career in Toronto. So playoffs since 2000, and there's a very ominous way that this goes eventually. In 2000, they get to the second round. They lose against the New Jersey Devils in 6. 2001, they lost in the conference finals in 6 against the Carolina Hurricanes. 2003, they lose in the first round in 7 against the Philadelphia Flyers. 2004, they lose in the second round against Philadelphia in 6. So Philadelphia beats them in back-to-back years. And then they don't make another playoff appearance till 2013, where they face the Boston Bruins, and they lost in the first round in 7. So keep that in mind. 2017, they get back to the playoffs during the Austin Matthews era, where they go back to this Maple Leaf rather than the other Maple Leaf that took place from 65, 66. Anyways, the old classic Maple Leaf coming back, I think, is one of the smarter moves they've made. So in 2017, they lost in the first round against Washington in 6. Not a lot of complaining in that one. It was their first appearance in the playoffs together. 2018, they lost in the first round against Boston in 7. I don't think there was a lot of complaining that time either, although we're starting to see a pattern. It's 2018 that the complaining starts, and I get it. 2018, they lost in 7 against Boston in the first round. 2020, they lost in the qualifying round in 5 games. It was 3 games to 2 against Columbus. That one really hurt. 2021, they had a 3-1 series lead against Montreal, and then they didn't. They lost in 7 against Montreal Canadiens in the first round. And this past spring, they lose in the first round against the Tampa Bay Lightning, also in 7, becoming the first team in North American sports history to have 5 years in a row where they have a winner go home, and they've gone home each of the 5 times. They have to win a series. For them to win a series, though, they have to have like a 3-0 lead and sweep. Like it has to be something substantial, and they really have to make a statement. In the event that another series goes to 7, I don't know that I'll have any faith in the Leafs at this point. And I don't know how much faith they have in themselves. After 2021, it was clear that some of it might be between the years with this too. Their Stanley Cup years, 1918, 1922, 1932, 1942, 1945, 47, 48, 49. They then won it in 51 as well before winning it in 62, 63, 64, and 67. So during the original 6 era, Toronto was very good. They ended up having 13 cups altogether, including the 1918 where they were the Toronto Arenas. 1922, I believe they were the St. Pat's at that point. I don't think they were the Leafs yet. And yeah, their arena right now, Scotiabank Arena. It's been that same building since 1999. Yeah, the building's name changes. But it replaced Maple Leaf Gardens. And to me, the original buildings that some of these old franchises have, they miss them. Although, that being said, the Maple Leafs 80s, 90s, there were some good times. There were definitely some down times as well. Coaching history, they've had 40 coaches in Toronto. The first being Dick Carroll, who went 18-22-0 during his brief time as coach. Their most recent coach, of course, current coach Sheldon Keefe, a record of 185, 116, and 50 behind the bench. The first goal in the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs was scored by Reg Noble at 3:05 of the first period in a 10-9 loss against the Montreal Wanderers, which I believe was the first game in National Hockey League history. The most recent goal was scored by Morgan Riley at 13:35 of the second period in a 2-1 loss against Tampa Bay Lightning. It did tie the game, but Tampa Bay would get the lead back. Their all-time penalty minutes leader is Ty Domi with 2,265. Their season record for goals, Matthews set that record this year, 60 goals. Assists, Gilmore still has that record with 95 and 92, 93. It's going to take a lot for somebody to get that record broken. Points, 127 by Gilmore, 92, 93. I wouldn't rule out Matthews or Marner being able to put up that kind of a gaudy point total over the next couple of years. I wouldn't rule it out. Not saying it happens, just I would not rule that out. Their penalty minutes in a season, Ty Domi holds that mark as well. 365 and 97, 98. The all-time wins record in a season, that was Freddie Anderson with 38 in 2017, 2018. Their best draft picks. You know, it's interesting. They don't have very many misses in the first round, but outside of the first round and trying to find those really good late picks, with Toronto, it's a little bit more difficult than some other teams. 204th pick in 1996 was Thomas Caberlet. That's a very good pick at 204th. At 216th in 2005, they drafted Anton Stralman. 256th in 1994 was Sergei Berezin. Number 160 in 1991 was Dmitry Mironov. Number 99 in 2006 was James Reimer. Number 85 in 1974 was Mike Palmateer. So a couple goaltenders there with some good picks later on. Then first round picks that play less than 100 games. For an original 6 team, this is a low number. It's a very low number. Tom Martin, 1964, was drafted 5th overall. He played 3 games. 1969, Ernie Mosier, drafted 9th overall, plays 0 games. One of only 3 first-round picks that the Leafs have had that end up playing 0 games in their National Hockey League career. So that's really, honestly, impressive considering how long they've been in the league. 1989, Steve Bancroft is drafted 21st overall. He plays 6 games. From 1969 through 1989, if it was a first-round pick for the Leafs, he played a minimum of 100 games. Not all of them had great success, but at the very least, they were drafting NHLers. Number 8 in 1992 was Brandon Convery. He played 72 games in the NHL. Number 16 in 1994 was Eric Fichaud. Played 95 games in the NHL. So close to 100. Number 15 in 1995 was Jeff Ware. He played 21 games in the NHL. Number 24 in 1999 was Luca Serreta. and he played 0 games in the National Hockey League. Number 26 in 2011 was Stuart Percy, who played 12 games in the NHL. And number 22, also in 2011, was Tyler Briggs. He played 0 games in the National Hockey League. So, again, it's rare, but there are 2 of them from 1999 until now. So, out of the 3. But yeah, so for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's been a successful regular season every year since 2016-2017. It's all about the postseason. It really is all about the postseason. And as worked up as we might get through the 2022-2023 season about what they're doing and not doing, how everybody's doing or not doing, in the end, if they don't achieve success in the playoffs, I'm not sure that it's going to matter. And we're getting to the point, too, where conversations about, so what if Marner wants to go? What if Matthews wants to go? They're out there. I don't think there's anything to them at this point. I think these guys are fully in and committed with the Leafs, but they need some playoff success. This is a team that needs it. And honestly, the fan base really needs it too. It's been 18 years since a win of a round. So at least that would be a start in 2023, where it'll have been 19 years since they won a round. So let's see if they get there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.